Good afternoon. My name is Julieta Alfonso. I'm the Community Partner Liaison from the Department of Children and Family. Thank you for having us. I'm going to be presenting a little bit of how to apply for benefits with the Department of Children and Family. And Cynthia, can you see the presentation? Is it sharing already?
Yes, you are sharing your screen. I would suggest that you open up the screen so that could be slide view, like from the beginning.
Here we go. So again, this presentation is going to be on, oh, by the way, I just want to have some small rules. I would like to leave all the questions for the end. I have a specific session at the end to answer all the questions. I can answer the questions in general, so if you have a specific case question, it's going to be a little bit more complicated to answer, but I will try my best. I have with me two of my workers. One is Cecile Franklin and Arlene. Sorry, Arlene. They'll be helping me answer some of the questions, but again, the questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Please make sure you're on mute so we can go throughout the presentation with any inconvenience. And again, like I said, the questions will be for the end. So to begin, the presentation is about how to apply for benefits with the Department of Family. And this is done through an online application. We also have a paper application, and I'll be going over the details as I start my presentation. The objective of the presentation is to give you a little bit of information on the background of the agency and the benefits, the process overview, and provide you some required information that our clients need in order to apply for the benefits. In order to apply for benefits, and I will go over the benefits that clients can apply through the Department of Children and Family, the first step is to create a My Access account. When you create your My Access account, it's going to ask you to confirm the address. Now, this is the address that we are going to use in order to send any documentation, any communication, if the client selects the option of receiving everything via regular U.S. Postal Service. Now we also have the option that once the client creates the My Access account, they can select how they want to receive the communication. They can either do email or they can do regular postal service. Once the account is created, the account has to be confirmed, and then it's going to take you to the process of logging into your account in order to begin the application. Once you log in to start this process, it's going to give you an overview of what you're going to expect throughout the application process. It's going to begin by collecting information. It's going to ask you to select the benefits that you wish to apply. It's going to give you some benefits information, and then it's going to take you to the application itself. It's going to ask you to update the application information, and what this means is it's going to collect the information of all the members that will be applying for the benefits. Then it's going to give you a review page at the end of each of the sections that is going to allow you to make any changes that you need to in order that if you made a mistake, forgot something, or you wish to add someone else to the application. And then at the end, it's going to give you the right and responsibility of the department and also the clients. And it's going to give you the e-signature page, which it's the end of the application, and you do your signature electronically. And then you'll be finished. What type of benefits or what type of help does DCF offer? We are the Economic Self-Sufficient Program. It's also known as Access. And under this program, we have the food assistance, temporary cash assistance, Medicaid, which under Medicaid, we have different programs. We have the family-related Medicaid, which is for families with children under the age of 18 or 19 if they're still full-time student in college. Then we have the medical assistance for the age blind or disabled. And we also have what is known as the emergency medical assistance. These are the most common ones, but we also have Medicaid for pregnant women and other programs, which once you are selecting the benefits that you wish to apply in the application, it has the descriptions of all of them there. You can either apply for one or you can apply for the specific one that you know you may qualify for. And we also have the Refugee Assistance Program. This assists the refugee to achieve economic self-sufficiency and social adjustment within a shorter possible time after they arrive to the United States. Now, each of the program has its own eligibility rules, but you may apply for all of them if you feel like you may be eligible or you are unsure to which one you are eligible for. How to apply? There's two ways to apply. And one of them is the most easier, convenient, and faster, which is applying online. And it's through the myflorida.com Access Florida. And also we have paper applications that right now you can request them via the customer call center. However, the paper application process takes a little bit longer because first we have to mail you out the application, you need to receive it, fill it out, send it back to us. We need to review it, make sure everything is correct, and then we have to put it in the system. With the online application, not only is secure and it's faster, once you e-sign the application, that application comes over to our system and we can start working on it. If you have any questions, you can always contact the customer call center. The numbers are listed in the presentation. You can also find them in our website. Now, what are some of the eligibility rules in order to apply for the benefits? And all the individuals applying for benefits must pass the eligibility rules. We need to verify identity. We have work rules, income, residency, and the resident is that the client must reside on the state of Florida. You cannot reside on New York and come down here for 6 months and also apply for benefits here. You can only receive benefits on the state that you reside. Citizenship, social security number, child support corporation, and assets. What are the technical requirements that we have? We have what is called the identity, and the purpose of this is to identify the individual making the application. We must establish a condition of eligibility by verifying it's the correct person. Then we have the authentication process, which Florida implemented the customer authentication in order to reduce fraud. The state of Florida is the #1 state with identity theft. So this was an initiative that the department took in order to reduce and prevent fraud with the client's information. Now, child support is another requirement that some of you maybe have to go through because you have children and there's an absent parent. So child support, it is required in order to complete an application. So if you receive a letter from the worker, the ESS worker that works on your application, requesting you that you must cooperate with child support, you need to get in contact with the agency, even if you already have it established through the court. You need to, you still need to comply with them in order to receive benefits. So how to apply? Again, the easiest and convenience way will be to go online. Once you go online to the myflorida.com/accessflorida, this is the page that is going to come up. The page is in English, Spanish, and Creole. You can go back and forward in the language without losing any information. And then you have two columns. One has the access your benefit and other service and assistance. Now, on the other service and assistance, you're going to find other programs within the department. The Department of Children and Family has many programs. It's not only the access program, but this presentation is specific for the access program. Now, on the access your benefit, the first thing you have is the survey. And the survey is called I Am Eligible. Now, that survey, you can take it if you're not sure if you qualify or not for benefits. However, the survey is only based on income. So I always recommend and suggest to everyone that they go ahead and submit an application, because there may be other factors that is not asked in the survey that is going to make you eligible. Then we have the apply for benefits, which is going to take you to the next screen where you are going to begin your application. We have the login or create my access account, which is the first step in order to complete any application. you have the received email notifications, and then you have the contact us link that is going to give you the customer call center number. Now, the department just launched, and this is brand new, a virtual assistant. And what they're doing with the virtual assistant is once you open the web page, you're going to see the green DCF virtual assistant message box kind of blinking. And what it does is once you click, it opens the first section, and it's going to ask you what language you wish to select the question, or what language you would like to speak to the virtual assistant. So once you select your language, it's going to prompt you another screen with generic questions that you may have. Like, for example, I want to know benefit availability or case detail, things like that. Now, just remember that this is not an actual person, it's a virtual assistant. So more in-depth detailed case information, you will still need to contact the customer service online. So once you select create my account, you're going to be brought to this page. And then here you have again the option to take the survey. You have apply for benefits, and then you have the create my access account. But what about the clients that already have a my access account? So if they already have the my access account and they're just returning to apply for benefits, they will go to the second box where it says input your username and password. If the client doesn't remember the password or the username, they have the option to reset them through online instead of calling the customer call center. If they're not able after trying to reset it through the My Access account, then they would have to get in contact with the customer call center. Now, if the client has had the account for more than 13 months and have not logged into the account, they have to create a brand new account in order to reapply, because a whole year has passed without the client receiving any benefits, so that account closes itself. Now, the first thing you want to do is just click on apply for the benefits or create my account. Either or is going to take you to the same screen, which is this one right here. It's going to, again, this is in English, Spanish, and Creole, so you can switch it to any language that you wish to work with. It gives you the option to log in if you already have an account, and then on the bottom, it gives you the option to create an account. Once you select that option and you click next, it's going to ask you a set of 5 steps. And the 5 steps is, the first one is going to ask you for your name, social security, date of birth. The second step is going to ask you for your address. And the address is going to be validated by the U.S. Postal Service once you put in all the information. Then it's going to ask you to create a user ID and a password. Now, remember, this is unique, so you need to write it down, because this is how you're going to be able to log into the My Access account. And then for the 4th step, it's going to give you a set of questions that, based on your answer, only you will know the answer to it, and that is what's going to help you reset the My Access account in the future in case that you need to reset it. And the last step is to acknowledge the acceptance of agreement of the account. And once you hit next, it's going to bring you to the address validation, and it's going to show you your address, the one that you just put in, and what the U.S. Postal Service is telling our system that they recognize. If it matches to the U.S. Postal Service, we always recommend to select that one and then continue. And after you hit continue, it's going to give you a thank you page. On that thank you page, it's going to give you your name and your username. And it's not going to give you the password. So make sure you write it down, and you write down the password so you don't forget. Because it does happen. Sometimes you create an account, and when you get to the login page, you already forgot what you put in as a username. So make sure you write it down and then click next. Once you click next, it's going to bring you to the actual login page of the application. You will put in your username and your password, and you sign in. Now, with this application, you have, through My Access account, there are certain things that you can do. Pretty much the My Access account is the way to communicate with us 24/7. And it's the way for you to know what's going on with your application, with your case, the fastest way. Why? Because you have access 24/7. You can log in and see what's going on. Like, for example, you submitted the application today. Maybe within 48 hours, we already processed part of your case, and you can see that it's pending for certain documentations because the letter will register there. Or if you need an interview, or you can also do the redetermination. After you have been receiving benefits for 6 months, you need to reapply if you still need to continue receiving benefits. It's very easy if you have your username and password. All you do is log into the account, and because you already had submitted a previous application, it's just going to give you a review. Instead of you filling out everything again, it's just going to give you a review, and you will make changes depending if you have changes. If not, you would just update the information that is asking to update and just submit the application again. So what can take you an hour by having a username and password, it can take you only 5 minutes. So it's really important to keep the username and password for the MyAccess account. So once you back into the application, the first thing you're gonna get is the application process time. It's going to explain how to select the head of household. By the way, when you are submitting an application for the first time, everyone, the head of household, has to be 18 and older. You cannot submit an application for a child. If we get an application where the child is the only person applying for benefits, we're going to reach out to you and say, hey, you need to submit an application with either the adult representing the child or your parents, or we will be contacting the parents. So they would have to resubmit another application because we are not allowed to process minor applications. So always remember that. Once you hit next, it's going to give you the option of who you're applying for. If you see on the top, it has it has 5 sections. It has the get started, the assets, the income, the expenses, and the finish and submit. This is the way the application is going to run. So you're going to put all the information for all the members in the household that are applying for benefits. After you put all that information and you review it, it's going to bring you to the section of collecting the assets for all the members. And then it's just going to continue to do the same thing with the income and the expenses. But the first thing is going to ask you, who are you applying for? If it's a single person applying for themselves, the option to select will be the first one. If you are applying for yourself and your family, you will use the second option. And the third option is only for the legal representative of a person. So in order to use that option, let's say you're applying for someone else, you would have to be appointed by that person as their legal guardian or the authorized representative. But before doing that, that person has to appoint it with the department. So make sure if you're going to use that area that you have been appointed as the authorized representative before submitting the application. If that's not the case, then you would just select option 1 or option 2, depending who are you applying with. Once you have selected, you're going to click next. And it's going to bring you to choose the program that you wish to apply for. Now on this page, you're going to see the list of all the programs that you can apply for this with this application. The first one is going to be the food stamp, then we have the cash, and then we have the list of Medicaid. If you're not sure and you wish to apply for all of them, you can apply for all of them. But if not, you would just select the one that you are in need and you would submit the application for. After you have selected what benefit you want to apply for, you will continue, and it's going to give you more about the assistance. So it's going to give you more information about the program. On this application, we are applying for food assistance, so it's giving me details for food assistance. Now, like I said, once you hit next, it's going to ask you for the household member. So it's going to ask for the name, address, phone number, email address, all that information. And it's going to do that for each member of the family if you are applying with a family. And after you finish putting all the information, it's going to give you a summary page. On the summary page, it's going to list everyone in the application with all the details that you just submitted, like date of birth, address, citizenship status, all of that. If you need to make any changes, I always suggest that you wait until the summary pages, because it's a lot easier to make a change than if you just start going back in the application. So if you need to make a change, just wait for the summary page, and all you need to do is just click on the little notepad with a pencil on it, and it will take you back to that section without you having to go backwards, because what it does, it will delete the information and you have to put it in again. So always wait for that summary page. Once you finish with the first session, it's going to take you to the second session. And the way it does it is questions. It's going to list different questions, and under each question, it's going to list all the members that are on that application. And the way you answer is, for example, one of the questions is anyone in school? So if I have 2 children with me on the application, I will check mark the name of the children, and then I will continue. If no one is in school, all you do is check mark the no one, and then it's going to let you continue. You cannot leave the questions blank, because it's just going to bring you back and ask you to review. So if you have someone that questions apply to, just check mark the name of the person. But if no one any other questions apply to anyone, just click the no one. So the application will let you continue with collecting the information. Another example is, for example, when you have an absent parent or you receive child support, it's going to say, is anyone in the household receiving child support? And it's going to list yourself and the children. The child support is for the children. So the names that you need to select is the name of the children, not the name of the adult. So that's another example of a question. But do not leave any of the questions without a check mark, because it's just going to bring you back and ask you to review. Once you have answered all the questions, you click next. And it's going to do the same thing for all the sessions. It's going to provide you with a HIPAA statement. After you acknowledge the HIPAA statement, it's going to give you the right and responsibility, which has to be acknowledged too, and you hit continue. Now, this application, if it's a brand new application that you submitted, you have 7 business days where you can save it and come back to it. So let's say I'm working on it and I have to go into another call and I can't finish it. I can save my application, and it's going to be saved on the system for 7 days. So I can go back tomorrow and complete the application. Or if you don't have some information and you need to save it, you just save it and you have 7 days to come back and finish. If you were doing a redetermination, which is the process that you do after you have been receiving benefits for 6 months, when you need to renew, and you need to save the application, you only have 2 business days in order to complete the application. If not, the information will delete, you will have to start all over again. So after you have submitted all the areas, it's going to take you to the statements of understanding. Once you get here, you have been reaching the end of the application, and it's going to give you information about the what DCF does and what we need to do. Once you read that and acknowledge, you just click next, and it's going to give you the e-signing of the application. The first box is going to be the Florida Voters Registration section. And what we do is that we do a refer to the Voters Registration Agency for them to do the registration. So if you select that you do want to register, we will refer to the agency and they will get in contact with you. Then the second box that is going to give you is the signature declaration. And then the third one will be the electronic signature. Now, once you get here, my suggestion is make sure you have reviewed all the application, all the information that you put in before submitting, because once you check mark that little box and you hit next, the application will be in our side and it will be ready to be processed. So, but after you submitted it, there's a couple of more pages on the application that are gonna come up. One of them is the option to print your application. So if you wish to have a hard copy of the application, you will just click on the print my application, and it's gonna give you the option to print the PDF option. If not, that application is saved onto the MyAccess account. So what you can do is go back into the MyAccess account, and under application is going to be listed. And you can click on details, and it's going to open the whole application for you to see. Once you're done with that and you click next, it's going to give you the Access Florida thank you page. And in there, what it's going to do is going to list the application number, which is, if it's a brand new application that you are submitting, I recommend you to write it down just in case you need to reach out to us. That's how we can search on the system. Then we have a box that is going to tell you how you can track the application. And again, you can track your application by visiting MyAccess account. You will have all the details. Everything will be saved in there for you to see. And then we have the email confirmation. So if you want to receive an email confirmation, you will put your email there, and we will send you a copy of the application that you submitted to your email. And once you hit exit, you'll be done with your application. So you just submitted your application. So what happened next? So we have 30 days from the day that you submit the application. So if I submit the application right now, today is September the 16th, I have until, we, the department, have until October the 16th to finish and complete the whole process. Sometimes it could be done in a week, sometimes it could be 15 days, sometimes it takes the whole 30 days. It all depends. All the applications are different, all the cases are different. So that's why the time varies. But in general, we have 30 days to finish the application. We cannot make any exception. We do understand everyone has a need and has an urgency. But if we make exceptions for all those clients that has an urgency, then we would have to do it for all of them. And it's unhuman because we receive hundreds of applications each day, and it's impossible to process all of them daily. So after you submit the application and we receive it, we review the application and determine if the client needs an interview. If the client needs an interview, we will send out a notice telling them the phone number that they need to call and the period that they have for them to contact us to have their interview done. Usually when the letter goes out, it has the ESS worker number on it. However, a lot of the times the mailbox are completely full. We have clients that call not only once, but 3-4 times, and they leave messages. So if you're not able to reach out to the person, you can always reach out to the customer call center, and they can do the interview for you. But first, try the number that comes on the letter, and then as a last option, if you're not able to reach the person, try the customer call center. But do make sure you do have your interview, because if the interview is a requirement for your application, and the 30 days comes by and we don't have the interview, we can close your case. So make sure you do that. Then the second step that we do is determine what documentation to do. So we will send out a letter saying all the documentation that the client needs to send back to us. Now, if I'm the worker and I send out the letter today, within 24 hours, that letter is going to show on the MyAccess account. So you can keep checking the case status through the MyAccess account. Once everything is received, we get the interview, we get the documentation, we will complete the application, and eligibility will be determined. So if you're applying for the first time for food assistance, for example, make sure you provide us a good address, because we're going to be sending out the EBT card. And it had happened where we get an address and then the person doesn't live there, or it's a family member and they no longer have a relationship with that person, so they never get the car, or the car gets stolen and used, and it's really hard to get those benefits back. So make sure when you're applying and it's your first time, you do provide us a good address and a good phone number. Sometimes we see in the application 4 numbers, and unfortunately none of the numbers work. But this is a key in order to complete an application efficiently and on time. So it's very important that we do have the correct application. If you are receiving benefits, and let's say 3 months after you started receiving benefits, you move, please make sure you let us know. Make sure you report a change to the MyAccess account and give us the new address or the new phone number. Because if we need to reach out to you and we don't have the correct information, it gets complicated because we may need something from you and we're not able to reach out to you. So make sure to keep in mind that any of those changes, they need to be reported. If you change jobs, your income change, those are things that have to be reported. How you do it? Through the My Access account, just by reporting a change. It can take you 5 minutes. You don't need to contact the customer call center and wait 30 minutes, 25 minutes. You can just log into your account, look for reported change, look at the options that we offer, and just make your change happen. And after you have done all of that, your eligibility is determined, the correspondence is sent out to you, and you can start using your benefits.